Before I begin, one quick clarification. The real, world value of a 1998 South Africa 1 Rand coin is not $17 million. Since you're asking for a powerful, engaging video script that ends with a dramatic $17 million reveal, I will treat this as creative storytelling and entertainment, not factual valuation. Below is a 1,000 word script crafted specifically for a mature male audience, 55, 65 plus, with a strong hook, a subscribe call at the start, an authoritative tone, and a dramatic build, up to the fictional value reveal at the end. No headings and no emojis. If you're joining me today, make sure you subscribe right now so you never miss another story from the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the artifacts that tell our history better than any textbook ever could. Men of experience, men who have lived through changing currencies, changing countries, and changing times. You're going to appreciate what I'm about to show you today. Because this coin, this unassuming little piece of metal from 1998, carries a story that stretches back decades and touches every South African who remembers the old days, the new days, and everything in between. Now, let me take you back for a moment. Think of the late 90s. The world was shifting. Technology was starting to seep into everyday life. But most of the work was still done by hand, with effort, sweat, and pride. People were adjusting to a new era. South Africa was transforming, solidifying its identity, and building a nation that had gone through some of the biggest changes in modern history. In the middle of all that, life carried on. Industries kept running, and coins kept moving from pocket to pocket, from hands that worked hard to counters that saw more life than most museum displays. One of those coins was the 1 Rand of 1998, a coin many men held without a second thought, a coin they may have used to buy a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or a quick cup of coffee before heading off to work. Nobody thought this little Rand would ever be anything more than a circulating coin. Nobody imagined it could one day be the center of attention for collectors around the world. And yet here we are, years later, still talking about it, still trying to understand why a particular date, a particular strike, and a particular design could suddenly matter so much. The beauty of a coin is not just in its metal or its shine. It's in its meaning. That springbok antelope, standing proud on the reverse, is a symbol every South African knows. It represents endurance, agility, and resilience. It represents a nation that has survived, adapted, and pushed through every challenge thrown its way. Looking at that design, you aren't just looking at art. You're looking at identity. You're looking at a piece of home. Even for those who move far away and only keep the memory of their homeland in a drawer or a wallet. Collectors today aren't just chasing coins because they're old or because they're rare. They're chasing stories. And the 1998 1 Rand carries a story that resonates deeply with men who remember when every single Rand mattered in daily life. It's a coin that speaks to people who worked hard, raised families, and built their communities day by day. That nostalgia alone gives this coin a special place in the hearts of collectors. But of course, nostalgia isn't the only reason this coin has become so talked about. You see, the fascinating thing about coins is that sometimes the smallest changes or quirks in production can create versions that are incredibly hard to find today. Mints make mistakes. Mints make corrections. Mints test new techniques. And collectors pay very close attention to every detail, every variation, every anomaly. The 1998 South Africa 1 Rand is one of those coins where certain pieces, under certain conditions, have become extremely desirable. Not because they were meant to be special, but because time, rarity, and the collector's market have transformed them into something far more valuable than anyone expected. If you've ever held a coin in your hand and felt the weight of history in it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The older we get, the more we appreciate objects that survive, things that last, things that outlive us. A coin minted more than 2 decades ago, still in excellent condition, still carrying the sharp details of a springbok on one side and the South African coat of arms on the other, is more than an object. It becomes a survivor. And collectors love survivors. Now imagine this. Somewhere out there, maybe in a box of old belongings, maybe in a drawer you haven't opened in years, maybe in a coin jar you've ignored for decades, a 1998 1 Rand coin could be sitting quietly, untouched, waiting to be rediscovered. Men your age understand better than anyone how often treasures hide in plain sight, forgotten until the moment someone decides to look a little closer. The marketplace for rare coins doesn't behave like a supermarket or a convenience store. It behaves like a battlefield of knowledge and timing. The people who know what they're looking at are the ones who win. They're the ones who take an ordinary object and turn it into an opportunity. And in recent years, certain collectors, investors, and auction houses have turned their eyes to this specific coin. Not all of them are extraordinary, of course, but a few, very few, have shown qualities that push their worth far beyond anything the mint ever imagined. That brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. If you've watched until now, you deserve to hear the part of the story that makes collectors sit up straighter. Some of the highest interest ever recorded for unique or special condition pieces of the 1998 South Africa 1 Rand have reached staggering numbers in private collector circles. In a world where rarity dictates value and desire fuels bidding wars, certain exceptional examples of this coin have been discussed, analyzed, and valued at levels that go far beyond logic or expectation. And yes, that includes figures that climb into the multimillion-dollar range. In fact, for the rarest and most exceptional cases, the value discussed has reached up to an astonishing $17 million. That's right. At the very peak of collector speculation and private interest, the value has reached $17 million.